If I get invited to a play party, can I bring someone with me? Let me start again because I kind of stuttered. If you get invited to a play party, can you bring someone with you? This is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
Cathy Vartuli from theintimacydojo.com.
So Reid, I got invited to this really cool play party. Do you want to come
That's
with me?
awesome. Cool. If you're allowed to bring somebody, sure.
Oh, how do I know?
I don't know. You're the one with all the information. I'm just learning about this.
It's really good to check in with the organizers because
if it's a no, then I'm going to feel really left out. Now I know about this cool thing that's happening. And
it says P.S. Invite anyone but Reid.
It's my fear. It's my greatest fear.
No.
Well, have fun. I'm sorry. I can't come.
Well, it'd be even more awkward if I showed up with you when it wasn't bring it.
It would be. Yeah. So how do you find out?
Sometimes people will say right in the invite, but other times you just have to ask, because if they say clearly bring savvy friends, meaning someone who's play party friendly, you do that. Sometimes I've seen you say, if you know people that are play parties, you're responsible for them. If you bring them and they're not, you're taking care of them.
This is a beginner level play party open to all, and then this is a play party that's open to certain kinds of people, or maybe people who have their green belts or black belts or brown belts in play parties.
Yeah, and there's been some that have been in hotels where there's not a lot of room, and it's like, please don't bring anyone else unless you bring unless you check in, or you can bring your primary partner only. So different ones have different rules.
Yeah,
and it's always good to. It's very important to check before you show up with people.
How's that not elitist? Shouldn't play parties? Shouldn't everybody have a right to sexual freedom and self-expression?
They can throw their own play parties. They can go to readaboutsex.com/play party and learn how.
Wow, that was a good answer. If you would like resources on play parties and one like attending them or even throwing them, then please go to readaboutsex.com/play party. Sign up to be on the resource list, and we'll pump out resources as we have them. So that was a good answer, but I don't know that that's the learning moment. What are your thoughts about, throwing an event that, you're in charge of, you're the gatekeeper for who gets to come and who doesn't get to come? Is that elitism?
I've been butthurt about not being invited to regular parties and play parties, and I've thrown parties that people have been upset about not being invited, both regular, like birthday party for Sarah, okay, but we didn't invite the third removed friends, and they're upset, or we didn't invite the cousins. Oh my God!
So what would be your advice to somebody who's afraid of, not inviting people, and then what's your advice for people who have not been invited? Go.
So if you're afraid of not inviting people, one, I try to vary the list sometimes, or have different kind of parties, so different people can come. And just, I get to throw parties for who I want to have in my home or wherever they're going. Mm-hmm. If you're not invited, one, you can just ask. Like, a friend of mine got married, and I was really surprised I wasn't invited. And I finally asked about it, I got over my disappointment. I'm like, hey, I was just kind of surprised. And she was like, oh my God, I totally thought I'd invite you. It was last minute. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay. It was fine then. But, and other people might be, oh, I never would have thought that was your gig. Or sorry, we had to cut the line somewhere. So just my advice is go out and make your own play parties so they're envious and want to invite you so that they're invited to the
success is the best revenge.
I must invite her, because then she'll invite
I'll just throw a better play party, and I don't know why I've got a pirate voice.
Well, that's one option.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to note that in these situations, whether it's a play party or you're throwing, whatever kind of event, this runs deep for a lot of people. Yeah. This is like 5th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Well, who belongs, who doesn't,
right?
Who's wanted.
Yeah. And in the sex ed world, I don't remember who said this, but other people have said this in different ways, but there's this idea of, if you're not grown up enough, whatever that means, to go into a store and purchase condoms, if you're emotionally, you can't wrestle with that, then you might want to consider that you might not be ready for sex. So, using this as kind of a stepping point, if you can't handle being honest and truthful with people about your guest list, when somebody says, hey, why wasn't I invited? And I think an appropriate answer, lovingly, is to be like, because I didn't invite you. That's the answer.
I think a better question that is like, hey, I heard your party was amazing. I'm so glad it went well. If it's possible, I'd love to be on the invite list for the future.
Well, again, that's black belt level.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is people like, how come I wasn't invited?
Yeah.
And then...
very accused. Why didn't you invite me to your party? So,
from that perspective, and again, this is all coming from an extroverted white guy who throws lots of play parties, your ability to be able to handle that situation with a little bit of grace and compassion might be the sign that you're ready to throw a play party.
Yeah.
However, if you, in trying to throw one, have to hide it from everybody, I'm going to say that might be a little flag, tiny flag.
You're allowed to have privacy for sure.
Yeah, that there's some other things you may want to just check in on about yourself so that you can honor your need to have the guest list that works for you, but also be an adult with other adults, hopefully, and really just kind of leave people feeling seen and heard. And, hey, this is my thing, and I realize that, we all feel left out in certain ways in society. I support you in throwing your own parties and honoring your own guest list. And then you can send them to the resource page, read.sex/play party for them to get resources. But again, it's how do we navigate as adults that weird fourth grader, I got left out of the birthday party energy, which, that stings for me still as an adult. But how quickly can we recover into it from fourth grade? We pull ourselves back into adulthood and be like, oh, yeah, how do we handle disappointment as adults? Yeah. And then how do you support maybe even strangers being disappointed in front of you? Yeah. And how do we do that with grace as human beings? Yeah, and honor the fact that they're adults and they can probably handle it. They may just not be aware of it. Yeah. We have a bunch of videos on this channel about disappointment, dealing with it. So if that's something you struggle with, we hope they help. Yeah. Leave some comments. What do you think? These are deep topics. Yes. How's your fourth grader? I think they rock. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to my social media, it's right there. And please subscribe to this channel there. If you'd like to see more goofy Reid and Cathy, there's more videos there. I didn't see them. Why are they there?